All right, let's get right into it. We're going to dive into a tool that can really change your entire workflow, Gemini in Gmail. Now, this isn't some generic tech talk. This is a super focused guide for you, as a loan factory officer, on how to use AI to get hours back in your day and, let's be honest, close more loans faster.
I'm going to be direct. If you are still typing out every single pre-approval follow-up, every condition request, and every realtor update completely from scratch, you are leaving time and money on the table. It's that simple. That manual grind is a huge bottleneck in a market that, as you know, demands speed.
And it's not just a feeling. The data shows that the administrative load, and we're talking mostly email here, eats up nearly 3 hours of a loan officer's typical day. 3 hours. That's time that you could be using for lead gen, for building those crucial realtor relationships, or for just giving better service to your clients. We're going to get that time back. So how exactly do we get those hours back? Well, we start by actually understanding the tool. See, Gemini isn't just some gimmick. It's an AI-powered assistant that lives right inside your Gmail, and it's built to do the heavy lifting when it comes to communication.
So what can this assistant actually do for you? Well, think about it. It can draft a pretty complex email from just one sentence you give it. It can take a monster 20-message chain with an underwriter and boil it down to the key action items in just seconds. It can even take your quick, jotted-down notes and instantly polish them into a formal, professional message. The whole point is this. It takes care of the tedious stuff, freeing you up to focus on strategy and service.
Okay, now for a really critical point of discipline. This tool is your assistant. It is not your replacement. You are the licensed expert. So every single piece of content that AI generates has to be reviewed by you before it ever goes out to a client, a realtor, or an underwriter. Human review isn't optional. It is a non-negotiable part of a compliant and professional workflow, period. You know, to get exactly what you want from Gemini, you can't just throw a vague request at it. You've got to use what we call a structured prompt. This 4-part formula, action, context, tone, and restrictions, is really your key to controlling the AI's output. It turns what could be a guessing game into a precise, clear instruction. And this is a perfect illustration of how it works. Just look at this example. The actions click crystal clear, draft an email. The context is specific, new realtor, mention a 21-day jumbo closing. The tone is defined, professional but energetic, and the restriction keeps it on track, concise, tech-driven. This is how you get a high-quality first draft in seconds, instead of starting with some bland, generic template. Okay, now let's see how this all comes together in real-world mortgage workflows. This is where the rubber really meets the road. We're going to tackle a couple of common pain points in the loan process and show you how a simple prompt is the solution. And remember, this same logic can be applied to pretty much everything from pre-approval follow-ups to helping a borrower position their offer. So here's a classic bottleneck, right? An underwriter sends a condition filled with technical jargon, the borrower gets confused, maybe even a little intimidated, and the whole file just stalls while you spend your valuable time trying to translate. This kind of friction costs you time, and it definitely creates anxiety for your client. The solution here is, well, it's just beautifully simple. You can literally copy the underwriter's jargon, paste it into Gemini, and give it this exact prompt. Explain this underwriting condition to me like I'm 5. It will immediately translate that technical gobbledygook into a clear, simple explanation for your borrower.
Just look at the difference here. The before sounds like a demand. The after is an actual explanation. It tells the borrower why we need those blank pages. It seems like a small change, but it reduces frustration, it builds trust, and it helps you get the documents you need on the very first ask, which directly speeds up your entire file flow.
Okay, on to the second big workflow problem, realtor communication. Your referral partners are the absolute lifeblood of your business, right? But so often, they feel like they're in a communication black hole. And manually creating those pipeline reports every Friday, it takes time you just don't have. And here is the answer. With just one structured prompt, you can have Gemini scan your recent emails, pull out all the relevant files for a specific realtor, and organize it all into a clean, professional table just like this one. So what used to be a Friday afternoon chore now takes, what, less than a minute? This isn't just about saving time, it's about turning a simple update into a really powerful tool for building that relationship. Okay, we've seen the speed. Now let's talk about using this tool safely and at scale. High production absolutely requires efficiency, but it demands compliance. At the end of the day, you are responsible for every single word that goes out under your name.
These right here, these are the non-negotiables. You never let the AI guarantee anything. Not an approval, not a rate, not a closing date. Always avoid using trigger terms, like a specific monthly payment, without the full TILA disclosures. And, like we said before, you must always review and approve the final message. The CFPB is very clear on this. The lender is responsible for the output.
Here's a perfect example. That risky phrasing, it's a classic trigger term violation. The compliant phrasing, on the other hand, gives the same info but frames it correctly, as a potential payment, and it includes that necessary call to action to discuss the full terms and the APR. You can even use Gemini to help you out here with a prompt like, "Review this draft for any TILA trigger terms."
So what's the actual return on investment here? Well, we started with that problem of 3 hours a day just lost to admin work. By putting these AI-assisted workflows into practice, you can cut that time by up to 80%. That is over 2 hours back in your day, every day, that you can reinvest into dollar-productive activities.
I love this quote from HousingWire because it just perfectly sums up the philosophy here. This technology is not here to replace your expertise or your judgment or your relationships. It's here to amplify your execution. It helps automate the low-value tasks so you can pour more of your energy into the high-value work that only a human expert can do. So what's your action plan for tomorrow? It's really simple. First, start using that 4-part structured prompt formula to get precise results. Second, use the refine feature to make sure your tone is always professional and on point. And third, the most important step, always review every single message the AI generates before you click send.
And we'll end with this question. This tool can literally give you back hundreds of hours over the next year. So the question isn't just about how to use the technology. The real question is, how are you going to strategically reinvest all that reclaimed time to build stronger partnerships and serve your clients more effectively? Because that's where the real growth is going to happen.